Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down something that can feel, well, a little tricky for English learners, but it's absolutely essential if you want to sound natural. And that is phrasal verbs. Yeah, let's just admit it right off the bat. The term phrasal verb itself, it can sound kind of difficult. Maybe even a little intimidating. But here's the good news. They are so much simpler than they sound. And in this explainer, we're going to make them easy, maybe even a little fun. Okay, let's dive in. All right, first things first. What exactly is a phrasal verb? Let's get a really simple definition down so we're all on the same page. Okay, the easiest way to think about it is like a team of words. You got a verb you already know, right? Like get. And it teams up with a little word, like up or on. And together, bam, they create a totally new meaning, one that's often really different from the verb by itself. So this is the basic formula right here. Verb plus a small word equals a whole new meaning. Let's take get, for example. You know what get means, but add the word up to it, and suddenly you have get up, which means to get out of bed. See? New meaning. You know, the best way to learn these isn't by staring at some long, boring list. No way. It's all about context. So let's just walk through a totally normal day and see how many of these pop up naturally. Okay, so our day starts with these two, right? Wake up and get up. They sound so similar, but they're totally different actions. First, you wake up. That's when you stop sleeping. Your eyes are open. Then you get up, which is when you physically get out of bed. And this sentence just perfectly explains it, doesn't it? I mean, who doesn't do this? The alarm goes off, you've woken up, but you're still lying there in your warm bed for, 10 more minutes before you actually get up. All right, let's move on. Something you'll notice is that a lot of these phrasal verbs come in these really neat opposite pairs. Let's look at a few that I bet you use every single day. So you get out of bed, and what's the first thing you do? You turn on the light, you turn on the coffee machine. And later, when you leave the house or go to bed, you turn off all those same things. It's that simple. Start and stop. Okay, next up, you gotta get dressed. So you put on your clothes. And then at the end of the day, when you get home and you just want to relax, what do? You take off your shoes, take off your jacket. Easy. And here's a great example of how you can use both in one sentence. It's super natural to say you take off your work clothes to put on something more comfortable. It just flows. And it's not just for physical actions. We use these for movement and even for continuing something. Like if someone's telling a great story and they pause, you might say, go on, meaning continue. And of course, when you leave a place and then return, you come back. Okay, now let's tackle a really common point of confusion. There are these two phrasal verbs that sound similar and people mix them up all the time. If you can get this one right, it's a huge step. So we have look for and find out. Both seem to be about searching for something, right? but they're used for totally different things. Do you know the difference between them? Okay, here's the key difference, and it's actually pretty simple. You look for a physical thing, something you can touch, your keys, your phone, a book. But you find out a piece of information, a fact, a time, a name. So these examples really nail it down. I'm looking for my phone, a physical object. But I need to find out the movie times. That's a piece of information. See the difference? One's for a thing, the other is for a fact. All right, so now that we've gone through a few of these, the big question is, how do you actually start using them so they stick? How do you make them a real part of your vocabulary? Here is the single most important tip I can give you. Please do not try to memorize a long list of phrasal verbs. It just doesn't work. Instead, just focus on 2. That's it. Just 2 new verbs each week. It's totally manageable. And here's how you practice. You connect the words to the action, literally. As you flip a switch, say it out loud, I am turning on the light. When you put on your coat, say, I'm putting on my coat. It sounds a little silly, but this habit of physically linking the words to what you're doing, it makes them stick in your brain like nothing else. And that's really it for our simple look at phrasal verbs. The big takeaway here is to learn them in context, not from some list. So the best way for you to start is to just pick one, just one from this explainer. Maybe turn on or put on, and just use it. Say it out loud today. So which phrasal verb are you going to use today?